lebhafte Familie.
Ja.
Ne? Aber mir fehlt auch das Arbeitszimmer.
Ja.
Das ist kacke, wenn es da einfach keine 5 Minuten, wenn die alle 5 Minuten gestört sind. Ne?
Ja.
Irgendwann verlierst du die Nerven.
Ja, das bei euch, ihr habt ja den größten Raum und Küche und alles zusammen. Bei uns links die Küche noch separat.
Ja.
Das macht schon viel aus.
Ja. Okay, Mama? Okay. Hier liegen.
Ein schöner Tag war the musician duo Mo, ladies and gentlemen, and the song was that it is a wonderful day today, which is true. And it is true because we have a very nice occasion to meet today. Dear Axel Hamann, dear Deputy Dean Jürgen Weigand, dear Bernadette, dear Hanne, Christian, Holger, but first and foremost, dear graduates of the EMBA class of 2022, and of course, also dear relatives and friends and everybody who's here. You see a happy man standing in front of you today, and there are several reasons for me to be happy today, and I hope also that there are several reasons for you to be happy. And reason number one is, I'm standing here together with a room full of people in 3D, physical, real people, and not just Zoom faces. And that makes one happy already. In my research, I'm currently very much interested in the metaverse and Decentraland and the sandbox, and also the implications that interactions have with financial markets. And recently I read an article which said that the metaverse provides incredible opportunities for interactions when virtual and augmented reality techniques and artificial intelligence are used in addition to decentralized blockchain techniques. But it was also said that there are things of social interaction which AI and VR and AR technologies are not able to map. In real interactions, as we are currently sitting here, we have significantly more signals that cannot be transported in the real world. Mood, for instance, and I feel a very good mood at the moment. Odors. Nothing arrives here, but there is something. A lot of unconscious signals that one cannot measure and sometimes that one cannot identify. Among all the students that we have here at WHU, it is also so that this, namely that there's more than just digital interaction, that this was best understood by the EMBA students because you were the ones who did not only not hesitate to get back to classroom as soon as it was possible, I was also told you were the ones who insisted with your vast majority to be taught in physical presence rather than in a hybrid or in an online way. And I really think that makes a lot of sense. And it's also supported, by the way, by the most recent results of the World Happiness Report, which says that social interaction is key to a happy life. By the way, together with health and wealth. The WHU Kellogg, the Kellogg-WHU EMBA program, contributes to at least two of the three key happiness factors, namely to a strong community involvement. And if you get wealthy once you have graduated, not really a problem for us. Please be encouraged also to become a little bit wealthy, if it makes you happy, at least. And of course, we wish you health and everything which else needs for being happy. In other words, we can say that the purpose of the EMBA program is not only to teach you, but in the end, to make you happy. And today you look really happy. And that's the reason why I am a happy man. And now, reason number two, which brings me to my second point. It makes me happy that I can congratulate you on your achievements. On your EMBA degree, you deserve that award. And I really wish you that you will be able to make the best out of it. For you personally, and also a little bit for the reputation of the school, because the more successful you're going to be, the better it is for us in the future. You are today graduating from one of the finest business schools in Europe and one of the finest business schools in the United States. And certainly one of the best EMBA programs in Europe. We personally think it's clearly the best. The Financial Times does not perfectly confirm that, but we basically think that they make a mistake, not ranking us at number one in Europe, and we are very confident that over the next years we will be able to correct that. But in any case, it's an excellent EMBA program, and you're excellent graduates from one of the most excellent programs in the world. And the third reason why I'm happy is that our friends, represented by you, Bernadette, from Kellogg, that you are here in person and physically and in 3D, I really think that this can be interpreted as a big compliment for us and for the program that you come here in person, that you traveled all the way from the United States to the metropolitan center of Germany in Koblenz. I know that you also have things to do in Ireland, but you know, from you in the US, Ireland and Germany might be close to each other. For us, that's still a very long trip, still a 3-hour flight. We know each other since many, many years. If I remember that correctly, we even spent the time after 9/11 together in the Allen Center, and that is now 21 years ago. So in other words, we really know each other since a very, very long time, and that's one of the 3 reasons why I'm a happy man today. And the 4th reason is that we have a very influential, smart, and powerful keynote speaker, Axel Hamann. He is the CFO of Bayer Pharmaceuticals in Berlin, and he will give some insights, and we are all looking very forward to that. And Axel, I would say, being the CFO of Bayer Pharmaceuticals is really an achievement, but allow me to say it's probably not your biggest achievement, because you are an alumnus of the Kellogg-WHU EMBA program of the year 2010. I hope you forgive me a little bit a subjective view on that, but this is another very big achievement, and that makes us double as happy that you are a successful business person and an alumnus of this program. I would say, have you among us today is another reason to be very happy. Ladies and gentlemen, dear graduates, Bernadette, I wish you courage and commitment always, then undoubtedly success will come. Dear graduates of the EMBA program, Kellogg-WHU EMBA program 2022, I congratulate you all very, very cordially. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dean Rudolf, Deputy Weigand. Good afternoon, distinguished faculty, the administration, Dr. Hamann, family members, friends, and most especially all of you, the graduates of KW23. Really so pleased to be here with all of you in person. It's my honor to be representing the Kellogg School of Management from Northwestern University and your convocation, another step in your life's journey. And on behalf of Dean Francesca Cornelli, the faculty, senior administration, and the staff of Kellogg, and the Executive MBA Global Network, I congratulate you on your achievement. Before I begin, I want to make a special thanks to Hanne and the team who has worked tirelessly over these years while you've been in the program to make this really a wonderful experience for you, even through challenging days as well, and to help make this the best EMBA program in the country and throughout Europe. This is not my first Kellogg-WHU EMBA graduation. It's a very special one because I am here in person with all of you. And as you've kept moving towards your goals, despite the challenging times that we've all been through, it's truly a joyful moment for me to stand in front of you today as a member of the Kellogg community and to share in the excitement, the pride, and the sense of accomplishment that I see on your faces at this moment. I know that past 2+ years were not what you bargained for as you embarked upon your MBA journey, but you've stayed the course and succeeded and accomplished your goal. As KW23 moved through the EMBA program, you've experienced real-life lessons in crisis management, negotiations, leading high-impact teams, and leading in difficult times. These were not just lessons taught in the classroom, just as part of the academic program, but as partners, parents, employees, and in your communities. And yes, within your cohort. You needed to be agile and empathetic and strategic in how you managed through the life-changing pandemic we've all been navigating through. Your strength and fortitude in staying with the program and continuing to learn and progress towards graduation is a nod to the strong leaders you've become. Thinking back to the early days of the program where you actually got to have classes in person together. You may remember the 4 guiding principles that define great Kellogg EMBA leaders. And I'm assuming you heard about the principles through a presentation from Melissa Holland or perhaps Greg Hanafy during launch week. And today, as we reflect back upon the program, I hope that throughout the program, these guiding principles have supported your ability to steer in new directions and that you've developed your skill and your expertise to lead with purpose, achieve together through collaboration, promote community success, and that ultimately you move through life as a leader who delivers with high impact and low ego. We hope that the guiding principles will influence your life beyond being a Kellogg-WHU student. Who will you influence or impact through your collaborative style? How will you make your family, your business, your community better because you've taken time to earn your MBA? I ask these questions to challenge you to live the values and take them beyond the classroom, beyond today, and to integrate them into your personal life and into the rest of your life. The program did not end when you took your last exam or when you finished your thesis and when you walk across the stage today. You'll transition from saying, "I earned my MBA," to living the guiding principles and exclaiming, "I am a Kellogg-WHU MBA." You see, everything you do will now have a new measure of success. You won't be judged as someone who may be uninformed or uneducated. The world and those around you will have expectations of how you lead, what you know, and how you apply your knowledge and influence to solve problems around you. And through all of this, I hope you know that you are never alone in this journey. You'll forever be surrounded by the friendships and relationships, the classmates you've met in your cohort and across the Kellogg-WHU Executive MBA network. You're now part of two vibrant alumni communities, the Kellogg community, alumni community, and the WHU alumni community. And in each of these very distinct communities, there's a point of commonality that rings true with all of our alumni. We ask that they take the call. Again, the program does not end here or today. This community will pull you back in. We'll ask you to take the call when we ask you if you will host prospective students for coffee, or take the call when we invite you to reunions and celebrations, when we invite you to Evanston, finally, in the coming years. Our keynote speaker today took the call, and as an alumnus, he is coming back to address all of you, and we very much appreciate that. We will ask you to share your experiences from the classroom, maybe on a video chat, or with students seeking advice, maybe for a capstone project or field work as well. We ask you to respond to the email, take the call to continue the legacy of a strong and mighty alumni community. For over 25 years, Kellogg and WHU were stepping out of uncharted territory. No business school had the grand plans to partner with other institutions around the globe to build this incredibly strong MBA network. And yet we're stronger for the partnerships we forged. And as you look around this room today, or as you return to campus over time, I hope you can feel the impact of the community who came before you. We stand on the shoulders of those who went before us. The program, as you know, was beautifully crafted by the founding deans, Dean Horst Albach and Dean Donald Jacobs, no longer with us. The strength of their friendship, the care for the student experience, and the belief that management education knows no boundaries. This has brought us to this place, this moment in time, where we celebrate all of you and this wonderful accomplishment. This brings us to where we are today and to the leadership of Dean Rudolf and Dean Francesca Cornelli. And it is what makes Kellogg-WHU leaders stand out in their ability to lean into uncertainty, thrive to collaborate across differing opinions, to look at a problem from a different angle, and to see the unseen opportunity. It's this unique blend of creative, collaborative, analytical, and social intelligence that sets you apart as more than an MBA graduate. You're a Kellogg-WHU EMBA leader. Continue to be lifelong learners, continue to be curious. Question the status quo and ask yourself, how, with all of this knowledge and education, can I make a difference? A difference in my home, in my business, in my community, and in the world. We are still fragile, and we are trying to make our way through the pandemic, worrying about inflation, unrest, and uncertainty. But I'm confident that the leaders who will see us through these challenging days sit before us right now. Before I close, I want each of you to take a moment, look around the room, look at the community that you have built over these past 2 years. It was not always in person. It was over Zoom. It was at different hours as you were doing different electives across the globe. But this is the community that you have grown, and we hope that it will continue to blossom and grow. When you arrived as strangers 2 years ago, there was a promise that this cohort would grow and work together and succeed together. Today, we see the fruits of these labors as you share laughter, worries, personal and business success, and as you surround yourself with trusted board of advisors. Bask in this moment. You've earned it. Share in the joy of what you have accomplished together. Remember to lead with compassion and purpose. Know that we are part of a very select group. We do not discount the hard work that it took to get here today, but there are many others that can benefit from your support, your intellect, your decision-making, and the desire to make the world better. Remember to live a life of gratitude and to thank all those who made it possible for you to be sitting in these seats today. They are a very important part of this journey. I look forward to opportunities to connect with you, to reconnect with you, to celebrate with you here and in Evanston as well. I'll be there. I'll be following what you're doing and cheering for all of you, as will all of the Kellogg community. On behalf of Dean Francesca Cornelli, the Kellogg and Northwestern community, I just applaud all of you. Thank you. Cheers to all of you.
A very good afternoon, everyone. It's my pleasure to be here and meet you in person. Although I was one of the very few lucky ones to have met you before in person in class. You may remember, dear graduates, KW23, how we started out, September 2019. We had our introductory module back in Fallenda, with a bit of leadership with Yuval and a bit of statistics with Carl. And then I had the pleasure in module 2 to teach economics, together with my marketing colleague, Lakshman. Do you remember that? And then, even better, we had the opportunity to go to Israel, to Tel Aviv, for the first time connecting with mates in the program earlier than just in the Evanston week. After that Israel trip, things went down the drain. We all know that. And then we only had opportunity to meet on Zoom or Teams, discussing how we can continue the program, how we postpone courses. And remembering that, I would really give a very deep thank you to Hanne and her team, because this was true crisis management. We always tried our very best to get back to the old normal as soon as possible. If I remember correctly, the soonest that we could get back in class was the capstone module. And again, it was me being in the capstone module, meeting you again after quite a while. And well, basically concluding the program officially. And then you started your master thesis, and here we are today, celebrating. Some of you celebrated already last year, others are celebrating now, but I think we can be very, very glad that we managed all of that in these very distressful times. I would also like to thank you, our faculty. Two of them are here today, Holger Ernst and Christian Andres. I think both of you, you had the Zoom part, if I remember correctly. Nevertheless, it was of value. I'll come back to that later on. So now you're sitting here in front of me, ready to celebrate dearly. And as I heard, you will have a good party going on tonight, and you should definitely celebrate as much as you can. Well, actually, after my little speech, we will have Axel. You already know that. In between will be a musical interlude. And it's the first time that we reconnect again, right, Axel? So you graduated in 2010, you started in 28, and Axel was my student as well. And if I remember also correctly, you did a master thesis with me. Help me, but I think it was on the strategic transformation of a company. I think it was called Bayer. And now the CFO sits in front of me, and I can tell you, we're all very proud of you, and we're very much looking forward to your words and your insights after the musical interlude. Let me conclude. Well, we should all give a big, big thank you to those we always call friends and families, because over the past 2 and even more 2 years of this cohort in the pandemic, well, it was a big, big achievement to basically balance all of that, the private lives, the professional lives, and still academia was somehow continuing. So I would like to give a big, big thank you to the friends and families. Last but not least, I would also like to thank our Dean Rudolf, because he and his team, they spent an awful lot of time and a lot of effort on managing the crisis. I don't know how many Corona updates we got, more than 50, I think. And I still remember March the 8th of 2020, when from now the school was closed and we had to transfer to digital delivery of our programs. So also to you and your team, a big, big thank you. So that's all I brought to you today. That's all I want to say. You know, professors are there to teach, even if everyone falls asleep. I would like to avoid that definitely and hand over to our wonderful duo, please.
Here's to the one that we got. Cheers to the wish you were here, but you're not, 'cause the drinks bring back all the memories of everything we've been through. Toast to the ones here today. Toast to the ones that we lost on the way, 'cause the drinks bring back all the memories, and memories bring back you. There's a time that I remember when I did not know no pain, when I believed in forever and everything would stay the same. Now my heart will fight December when somebody say your name, 'cause I can't reach out to call you, but I know I will one day. Everybody hurts sometimes, everybody hurts someday. Everything's gonna be alright. Go raise your glass and say, hey, here's to the ones that we got. Cheers to the wish you were here, but you're not, 'cause the drinks bring back all the memories of everything we've been through. Toast to the ones here today. Toast to the ones that we lost on the way, 'cause the drinks bring back all the memories, and memories bring back you. Do 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 do, and memories bring back you. There's a time that I remember when I never felt so lost, when I felt all the hatred was too powerful to stop. Now my heart feels like an ember, and it's lighting up the dark. I carry these torches for you, and you know we'll never drop. Yeah, everybody hurts sometimes, everybody hurts someday. Everything's gonna be alright. Go raise a glass and say, hey, here's to the ones that we got. Cheers to the wish you were here, but you're not, 'cause the drinks bring back all the memories of everything we've been through. Toast to the ones here today. Toast to the ones that we lost on the way, 'cause the drinks bring back all the memories of memories bring back you. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. And thank you very, very much for the kind invitation. And to you, Bernadette, I've taken the call. And I will take also future calls. Graduates, faculty, family and friends. It's a pleasure to be here with you. When I received the kind invitation from Hanne and Jürgen, it made me actually think or reflect about my own time with the program. So let me maybe start and share some of the aspects that came to my mind immediately. It was awfully demanding. That's something I still recall. 3 things. It was a demanding day-to-day job, 2 small children, and the program itself. So that's what I call rush hour of our life. And I'm sure you are still, let's say, feeling the rush hour of your life during the last years, and probably also for the future years. But those efforts have, in hindsight, proven to be justified, I have to tell you. The program provided me with a toolbox that made me confident that I can cope with assignments and increasing responsibilities outside of my original scope or profession. And some of you may know, started my career as a lawyer, having no clue what to do afterwards. I just wanted to have all options on the table, and it somehow turned out to be effective. So let me take up 2 of the aspects I've mentioned and try to also share some learnings. Number 1, the confidence that toolbox gave me. I was extremely fortunate to be assigned to a job right after the EMBA. There was a huge increase in responsibility. So I became the local CEO of Bayer Turkey. Awesome. So shortly before starting my assignment, I was talking to my boss. I had a chat with him, and then he said to me, "Look, Axel, you being sent to Istanbul, that's a considerable risk." And I was, no worries. According to the latest Mercer study, Istanbul is as safe as London. And he said, "It's not the city, the risk is you. Because you lack a decent degree of experience that we would normally expect when tasking someone with such an assignment. But," and here it comes, "we believe in you. And that is why we're comfortable to take that risk. Plus, we are convinced that you have by now compiled the toolbox that will help you to cope with tasks that are new to you." So, what did I take out of that conversation? And I have to admit, it took me some time. First, it is invaluable to have someone who believes in you and is willing to take risks for personal development. But equally important, you as leaders should seek for people you believe in to provide perspectives in leadership and eventually accomplish something extremely meaningful in your careers. And I'll get back to this in a couple of minutes. Now, the toolbox that gives us confidence. As you can see from my reaction on the risk assessment of my boss, it's fair to say that I most likely developed some level of overconfidence at that point in time. I'm sure you're much more mature than I was back then, but this may be something to watch out for. Because one thing is for sure, people like to follow not only analytical capabilities, sharp thinkers, they love to follow and work with nice and humble leaders. Bernadette, to your point, high impact, low ego. That's what we're striving for. Now, that was my first learning right after graduation. The second one was also somehow covered already, so it was great to see that we have some consistency across the Kellogg-WHU family without any alignment. And the second one is probably even more important. Back then, I was really focused on juggling those aspects of daily life, family, and job rush hour of our life. But in hindsight, I probably did not fully recognize how important the support of my family was, especially of my wife. So my kind request to you is, show that appreciation to your beloved ones. Tell them, actually, today would be a good opportunity. Now, in addition to being thankful to your supporters, to your families, you should be extremely proud of what you've achieved. This is one of the world's most renowned programs, continues to rank extremely high, and I did the research on the train, so I was glad to see that The Economist, I think, is on a very good track with number 4. So that's something the FT soon to follow. And don't you ever belittle your achievements by saying, well, this class was quote unquote only virtual to a certain degree. It makes it even more impressive to me that given the challenging environment, you really pushed it through. You've demonstrated a level of resilience that is just amazing. And believe me, I know what it means to spend long days in front of screens and trying to avoid that Zoom fatigue. So let me briefly touch upon something else. Given the times we are in, we may all think, how important is it really what we're doing here? And what we're doing in general in business? So my perspective is the following. Yes, there are nowadays definitely more important things right now than graduating from business school. However, your skills, your capabilities are ever more important in these times of uncertainty. Finding ways to address the economic challenges that are already prevalent or on the rise, you've mentioned inflation as one of them, will be of paramount importance. Because as we all know, economic stability has a decisive influence on political stability. And if we as business leaders can contribute to economic stability, that is quite meaningful and important. Now let me come back to where you are maybe in your career and what may become even more important going forward. It's not about me knowing it all, but let me try to share at least some perspectives. Number one, always try to fulfill your own expectations, not expectations from others. Number two, always maintain your moral compass. There's nothing as precious than to always live up to your values. Once you ignore that compass, it's gone. It will most likely leave a bitter taste that will be difficult to ignore for the rest of your life. In that regard, maintaining a certain level of independence is particularly helpful to take the right decisions for yourself. And I'm not talking about financial independence only, as I know this program is still a heavy investment. Third, planning your next career steps is a good thing to do, but maintain a decent level of flexibility and always keep your eyes open on opportunities. This may also help you maintain the required flexibility and independence that I mentioned. Fourth, continue to develop yourself. It's not over with your MBA, but put a strong focus on developing others. It's probably the most rewarding aspect of a professional career. Many great leaders at the end of their career are most proud about the next generation they have developed, more than job titles, more than successful projects they have delivered. So keep an open eye for those you want to believe in and you want to develop. Last but not least, manage your energy level. It's a marathon, it's not a sprint. So the best coach I've ever worked with told me about the 4 buckets all of us have in life. The first bucket represents yourself. The second bucket represents your family. The third bucket represents your job. And the fourth bucket represents your broader community. Ideally, all of these buckets would be entirely filled with water. But there's not enough water by default. So we need to constantly solve for the dilemma and adapt going forward. But none of them should ever be totally empty. So let's do the exercise. How do your buckets currently look like? Is one particularly filled? Are you even aware of all 4 buckets? Or maybe only 3? Is one maybe almost empty at this point in time? I believe today's important milestone in your life may be a good opportunity to reflect how you plan to fill your buckets over the next 5 to 10 years in order to maintain your energy level, but also in order to give energy. But before doing so, you should certainly celebrate what we are here for. So you as class 2021, graduating from one of the most prestigious EMBA programs. And with this, I once again congratulate you to your graduation and wishing you from the bottom of my heart all the best, both personally and professionally. Thank you.
We professors, it's our task to assess students, to do exams, to grade them, and all of that. But of course, students do very much the same with the professors. So, what's coming up next? It's the Best Teacher Awards. We have 2 of them, one for Kellogg faculty and one for WHU faculty. But before I start with it, if someone asks me, what could you do when I wake you up in the middle of the night? Well, I could give a lecture, or I could deliver the Best Teacher Award. And you will recognize immediately why. I'm not sure whether I should open that, because it's the same person on the Kellogg side as almost every year. We have a serial best teacher, and I think you remember his name, right? It's Carl. So the best teacher in the program by the Kellogg-WHU Executive MBA class of 2021, KW23, is Carl Schmedders. You perceived him and his 2 courses on decision-making under uncertainty and managerial statistics as an outstanding and amazing learning experience. The professor was very engaging in class and provided compelling, relevant examples that illustrated the material and engaged the class in discussion. The students enjoyed the energetic lecture style, true enough, the real-world approach, as well as his high motivation and enthusiasm for teaching. So let's congratulate him on this success. We can clap the hands. He's not here today, unfortunately, but let's first clap the hands. Yeah, he has asked us to read out something as response to the Best Teacher Award because, well, he wants to say thank you. Please assume that I'm not Carl here. I can't do the Carl stuff, right? But still have an image of him in mind. So what is he writing to you? Thank you. I'm humbled by receiving the Best Teaching Award from your class. You are very kind to me. Please accept my apologies for missing your graduation festivities. I have the policy of expressing my gratitude in person when someone is so kind to give me an award. Sadly, due to some personal health issues, I can't be here today, and so must violate this personal principle. Sorry. Whenever we must listen to the self-declared business gurus of our world, we get to hear that our world is hyper-connected, fast-changing, and complex. A buzzword of our times is that we are living in a VUCA world, a world that is ever increasingly volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. While we may argue about the buzzword, I believe that many of you agree that we are currently living in uncertain and difficult times. How relevant is your business education in the face of such personal and professional challenges? Occasionally, business students tell me that the concepts taught in business school are too simplified to be useful in a VUCA world. They claim that only more complex ideas will remain relevant. I disagree with this view. The call for more complexity in the tools and concepts we teach in business school gets the problem backwards. The concepts we teach are relevant because they are simple and because they extract the essence of complex situations for us. Relevance does not require complexity. Instead, complexity may impede relevance. We can understand the world only by simplifying it, because yes, it is too complex for our limited human brains. Simplicity of business concepts is not a bug, it's a desirable feature. It is now your job as a business leader facing difficult business decisions to choose the appropriate simple tools from your MBA library that can help you to master any particular challenge in front of you. Of course, this will also require you to continuously update your education. As some of you like to quote me, Earth to class, this is it, don't die dumb. Okay, let's come to the Best Teacher Award on the WHU side. Well, I don't know whether you have any guesses, but I mentioned briefly something before that even Zoom lessons or lectures could be of value. So obviously someone of the faculty who had been on Zoom is going to be the best teacher. And it's my dear colleague, Christian Andres. So the class of 2021 perceived your course on corporate finance as an outstanding teaching experience, although it was on Zoom. The students very much enjoyed the strategic insights, his expert knowledge combined with the best practical approach, and his high motivation and enthusiasm. A global health emergency during this academic period required the transition to a virtual knowledge transfer and professional exchange. Professor Andres managed this in a highly professional way, and his great virtual presence was highly appreciated. Congratulations.
Well, thanks a lot. This really means a lot to me, and I'll explain in a moment why this is the case. But first, let me congratulate you. It's been mentioned several times, but I think it's worth stressing again. You started your program in, well, just a month before COVID hit, when most of us had no idea what a pandemic really meant, when we thought a lockdown, what is this supposed to be, when exponential growth and also log scales were not known to most of us. And we, by now, of course, know what all of this means. And frankly, as a finance professor having to do with a lot of log scales, this helps a lot if people are somewhat familiar with that. But I guess what I'm saying is you, as a class, you experienced the whole, well, smorgasbord of what this pandemic has to offer, the lockdowns, purely digital classes, travel restrictions, and you still, as Axel pointed out, made it work. So oftentimes when I talk to people about these past 2 years, they mention, well, describe it as one big blob of time where everything melts together, because many of the aspects that make time distinct and memorable to us couldn't happen during these times. So meeting new people, traveling, seeing new places, all of this was hardly possible. I frankly cannot say that this holds true for me, and I hope it also doesn't for you, because I still very vividly remember many aspects around this course. I, for example, remember we had the first Q&A session where Nikhil dialed in his car, driving the streets of Helsinki, if I'm not mistaken, with his son in the back seat, wondering what is going on here. So everything was new to us at the time. And also as a professor, we're used to in-person interaction. We're, over time, have learned how to read a classroom, how to react to classroom dynamics. And well, we also didn't know what all of this would mean. So when Hanne then called me, she also had asked Carl whether he would be willing to give a purely digital class, and I was a little reluctant for a moment because I wondered how this would go. There was only one thing for certain: you wouldn't be wanting to sit in front of a computer screen and listen to me for 6 straight hours. So we needed to experiment a little bit here, and thought, well, I always wondered what the life of a YouTuber is going to be like, so I tried to have these asynchronous components in, right? These Menti polls, these quizzes on Moodle, and all of the things of which at the time we didn't know whether they would work. So let me first and foremost thank you for making it work. Thanks a lot for your openness, for all the interaction that we had in class here. Thanks a lot for keeping your cameras turned on. That's also something that makes it much, much, much better. And this also brings me to the point that, yes, sure, not everything went the way we would hoped for it to be, but in the end, what counts, even beyond, and we need to be that honest as instructors, beyond the pure content part, it's the personal part, the getting into a network of people, exchanging opinions, exchanging views and experiences that counts. And you made all of this work in a purely digital format. So Carl talked about a buzzword, but there's 2 other buzzwords that we often use these days that you, among all the classes, should be most familiar with. So ambidexterity and resilience, so doing so many things at once. So again, let me thank a lot and use this opportunity to celebrate because we have had also purely digital graduations in the past. And even though I just mentioned many of the things that are about personal interaction can be moved to a digital classroom, trust me, celebrations are so much better in person. So celebrate yourselves, celebrate your families. Who endured you also sitting in front of computers for endless hours and being a little grumpy. You've made it. So thanks a lot. Very much appreciated, and all the best to you.
Oh, come on, oh baby, don't you wanna go? Come on, now baby, don't you wanna go back to the same old place, sweet home, Chicago? Oh, come on, now baby, don't you wanna go? Howdy, hey, baby, don't you wanna go back to the same old place, sweet home, Chicago? Well, 1 1 is 2 and 6 and 2 is 8. Come on, baby, don't you make me late. Howdy, hey, baby, don't you wanna go back to the same old place, sweet home, Chicago? Back to the same old place, sweet home, Chicago. Now, 6 and 3 is 9, 9, 9, 18. Look there, brother, baby, what I've seen. Howdy, hey, baby, don't you wanna go back to the same old place, sweet home, Chicago? Thank you.
So, graduates, we have traveled this journey together for quite some years, and it's a special day. It really feels special, for sure for you, but also for us, for the team, to see you sitting here and graduating today. So it's my pleasure to welcome you as well, and we definitely look forward to celebrate your achievements. In September 2019, 48 highly experienced individuals decided to participate in this program. 35 actually are about to graduate today. The others are yet to come. You follow the principle, learning is the best investment of our time that we can make. We were pleased to welcome a curious mix of people with diverse nationalities and cultural backgrounds, different talents, and with a desire to shape their personality and impact their professional development. A few months later, our world was broken. Just every sector needed to radically change or adapt or die. There may be more beautiful times, but this one is ours. A quote by Jean-Paul Sartre that I recently came across, and I found this really special and certainly applicable for this time that we currently live in. The global issues need leaders now to manage the process of change and repair. So you demonstrated strong leadership by embracing the new situation, and I felt fortunate with such a dedicated group of professionals like you while we were forced to go through this together. Looking at it from a different perspective, we can say that without this special situation, you would have not gained all of those experiences which help you to lead in uncertain times. When I took the time to reflect on what is special for KW23, trust was immediately that coming to my mind, and it is what we will remember most about you as a cohort. You trusted in yourself and in your capabilities. You decided to move on in these uncertain times. With this, you demonstrated the skill and the will to lead. You trusted in your peers, even when life was coming along with disappointments and frustrations. You trusted in us, your business school and the EMBA team, relying on our best efforts to deliver the value that we had promised, although the circumstances had totally changed. And we trust in your integrity to lead, while we will be watching you now moving mountains and letting the world know your names. Trust is also the foundation of our joint cooperation between Kellogg and WHU that has been initiated and established by the former Dean Don Jacobs and Professor Horst Albach 25 years ago. They trusted one another in the desire to innovate and create something big. We won't forget Don Jacobs, who passed away in 2017, and Professor Albach, who we lost in December last year. And KW23 had the best class speaker that we could ask for. Dennis, it has been a pleasure working with you. You are a fantastic role model, and I will miss you, your inputs, and your ideas. Thank you so much. Thanks also to Carsten and your social planner team, here in particular Sona and Frida, for organizing your graduation party tonight. Congratulations to all our graduates from KW23 and Tolu from KW22, who came here to celebrate her achievement as well. We are very proud of your accomplishments and wish you much success for your future lives. We will remember you as conscientious, smart, motivated, energetic, and a pleasure to be with. The acknowledgement is also for your classmates who are here with us in spirit, but unfortunately not able to join the celebration today. Kale, Jose, Jenny, and Hugo, Paul and Yuri, this applause is especially for you. I also take this opportunity to thank and honor my team. I am blessed to work with a group of highly motivated people who are willing to go the extra mile. I thank you all for being the most solution-oriented people and for the millions of hours that you contribute to the success of the program. Thank you, team, for doing such a wonderful job. Highly professional, but also cordially, warm-hearted, and compassionate. It's a pleasure and fun to work with you. I'm grateful that we laugh a lot at work, despite the many challenges we have. This applause is only for you. Graduates, your journey as a Kellogg-WHU student is coming to an end, but at the same time, you are at the beginning of a lifelong journey as a Kellogg-WHU alum, and we trust it will be a journey we will continue together in the future. We will keep you in our memories, and we will always keep a seat free for you to come back as an alum. We hope you visit us from time to time as a guest. No one is an expert in leadership, but all leaders have one thing in common. They are all students. Leadership is constant practice. You have to show up and try to be a better leader every day. So there might be more beautiful times, but this one is ours. Congratulations to our graduates. We are so proud of you. So I will call Dean Rudolf, Bernadette, and Academic Director Jürgen Weigand to the stage. And then I will call every one of you individually by name and ask you to come to the stage for the recognition of your EMBA diploma. Jürgen, okay, get it organized, and you need So let's start. Arne Geig. Foto. Ravi Maiti. Vladimir Omerenko. David Bohan. Christoph Riekmann. Carsten Becker. Oliver Schmidt. Frank Lindner. Sebastian Lieb. Jobst Wibbelmann. Florian Bamberg. Dennis Atzert. Derek Heiß. Andrei Kostek. Walker Hunter. Steffen Pöck. Tolu Ochonogoa. Nikhil Pachandara. Diego Estrada. Alexander Berger. Frieda Meidert. Maneli Resvani. Umesh Batra. Martin Auer. Sandeep Chavan. Tatjana Goy. Monica Sandoval. Melanie Zhu. And Sona Zakar. Okay, maybe, lassen wir das mal durchgehen.
Ich würde auch noch eins nehmen.
Nicht auswendig?
Nein, ist egal.
Wir sind genug da.
Danke.
Okay, everyone. So make sure that you now move your tassel on your hat from right to the left. Perfect. And then take a deep breath and prepare for the song that we sing together.
In Latin.
Ready? Okay.
Oh
deserve your degree, your master's degree, but you won't get a master's degree for singing. Can I ask you to go back to your seats? Es kommt Musik. Musik.
I heard there was a secret chord that David played and it pleased the Lord, but you don't really care for music, do you? It goes like this, the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall and the major lift, the baffled king composing hallelujah, hallelujah, Your faith is strong when you needed proof. You saw her bathing on the roof, her beauty and the moonlight overthrew you. She tied you to her kitchen chair, she broke your throne and she cut your hair, and from your lips she drew Baby, I've been here before. I've seen this room and I've walked this floor. I used to live alone before I knew you. I've seen your flag on a marble arch, and love is not a victory march. It's a cold and it's a broken hallelujah. Thank you.
Dear family and friends, distinguished guests, members of the faculty, and fellow graduates. It is an absolute pleasure to be here today, in front of you at beautiful Schloss Koblenz for the graduation ceremony of KW23. I can only assume, but I think a lot of speeches and class speaker speeches must have started like this. But this time it's a little different. One small word has a very new meaning. It is an absolute pleasure to be here, physically, in what feels like 40 degrees right now, but who could have thought that such a little word could be so important one day? KW23 is the only cohort that started their journey with expectations that were totally changed from one day to the other. Yes, this speech, like so many before today, will be a lot about COVID
as much as it's been part of our journey. But let me start from the beginning. Nearly 3 years ago, September 2019, 48 students went on their way from all over the world, from Colombia and Peru in the west, from Kazakhstan and China in the east, to tiny Wallenda in the middle of Germany, to embark on a journey that was clearly defined for most of us. 2019. Back then, Ed Sheeran, Metallica, and the Rolling Stones were still performing in front of 80,000 people in sold-out stadiums. Donald Trump was just in the middle of his presidency, and Toyota was the most valuable car brand in the world. Oh, how times have changed. I still remember vividly our first week, some of us meeting at dinner the night before, which became a little tradition before each module that we actually had in Wallenda. Our first classes with Professors Prause, Menges, and Schmedders, getting to know each other in our group assignments, having a drink or two in the cellar in the evenings, and a very tired class on Friday morning. I also remember leaving the module, sitting on the train on the way back to Zurich, extremely tired, but also extremely motivated, thinking just this 1 week would have been already worth it. The learnings, the networking, the friendships, and we still had 13 more modules to go. How exciting. So module 2 came along, where we had more amazing classes, getting fist bumps from Professor Lakshman, destroying a couple of rigs in an oil platform simulation, and where our Indian friends introduced us and the whole cohort to an amazing night of the Diwali festival. And in January 2020, we then had a true highlight of the program, our international trip to Tel Aviv, having a joint module with our friends from Kellogg-WHU. And I could speak the whole day about this trip, but simply said this was exactly why the majority of us joined this program, gaining first-class education, networking internationally with experienced professionals from such diverse backgrounds, and having the opportunity to visit amazing places like Jerusalem or Gugi's Bar. Don't worry, I will not go through all 14 modules now, but the next one was a special one. In February 2020, it would become the last module after 23 years that was done the old way. When the whole world changed in March 2020, so had to our EMBA journey. Travel plans were cancelled, schedules had to be rewritten, classes were moved online, and most of us were left with the question if we ever see each other in class again. And luckily we did. Of course not at first. We had to move to fully online like the rest of the world. We also lost a few members of our wolf pack who decided to postpone their studies until more clarity will come back to the program. However, I can honestly say I'm immensely proud of how we continued and handled the situation. Both the faculty, who organized and delivered professional online and hybrid options to ensure most of us could continue our EMBA journey as good as official regulations allowed. But especially our cohort. Yes, questions were asked, concerns were raised, and sometimes frustrations were vented. But in the whole scheme of things, we accepted the challenge, we adapted, and we successfully continued through the rest of our modules so that we can be here today to celebrate our achievement of having completed a world-class EMBA program. But what does it mean now that we have an MBA? Elon Musk famously said in 2020 that people should avoid hiring MBAs, as MBAs don't have a clue how to run a company. Wow. Did we really just spend €100,000 down the drain? Maybe he has a point. Well, luckily he didn't speak about EMBAs. One criticism, I guess, is that MBAs can be so theoretical but don't know the real hard world. And here's the difference. EMBA is exactly made for that. Most of us have worked for more than 10 to 15 years, mostly in leadership positions. And if we have proved one thing in our 2 years, is that we can take theory very quickly into action when a global pandemic hits and throws our curriculum completely upside down. And just to mention, in the same time frame, this cohort achieved, and don't quote me on the exact numbers, 8 births, over 20 job changes, and on here it says 2 weddings. but someone sneakily snuck in a wedding in the last couple of weeks and didn't tell anyone. So we actually have 3 weddings. Congratulations, Diego. We have a wonderful cohort that truly embodies the spirit of the Kellogg-WHU motto of low ego, high impact. And during our award ceremony night, we already gave special mention to those fascinating characters that we have. But let me still mention 2 that I truly believe represent the spirit of our whole cohort. First, Jobst, the Wibster, J. Wibble. You might be the oldest member of our cohort, but you are by far the hippest, funniest and classiest. You are the proof that age means nothing when it comes to getting out there and challenging yourself through education. Your photos in our WhatsApp group could literally fill any professional art gallery from Paris to New York. What an amazing experience to have you as part of our cohort. Thank you for always being a good sport when it comes to lawyer jokes. And yes, I know you are a patent lawyer. They are apparently a little different. And then second, Paul, my man. Unfortunately, you can't be here, but I hope you're watching somewhere on the internet. You were still in your 20s when we started, but just like Jobst, you show that age means nothing, but it's all about character. Bringing wisdom and experience, knowledge and culture to this cohort, and so many of us have learned so much from you. I guess we all knew you were special when you broke the record after 5 minutes in Professor Menge's first class test. There are so many more people I could mention and thank. All the professors and any single staff member from Kellogg and WHU, and especially the whole EMBA team. And no, Sarah, I will not make you cry again. But there's one person I have to give a special mention to. An EMBA is always about business. When you nearly spend €100,000, it has to be about business. But not for you, Hanne. You truly care about each individual student that comes into this program. You know the name of every single student since you started with your first intake being KW9. Having had the pleasure to work with you very closely during the last 2.5 years, I could firsthand see the pain and frustration you experienced as you tried to give all of us the best experience possible in the most uncertain times with so many restrictions. On behalf of all of us from KW23, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for all your dedication to us in this program in general. Kellogg-WHU would not be the same without you. Before I officially close our EMBA journey, one last thank has to go out to our wives and husbands, partners, kids, families and friends for allowing us to go on this journey and supporting us all the way through it. This truly would not have been possible for any of us without your support. Good, another round, they deserve it. So, to truly finish this off, let me say one last time to my fellow members of the Wolf Pack, congratulations on our achievement. It was an absolute pleasure to represent you during the last 2 years. And what can I say? Once a wolf, always a wolf. Earth to class, we did it.
Having a man bringing me close to tears didn't happen for a long time, so thank you, Dennis. Thank you so much for your appreciation. That means a lot, and yes, and that's what we're going to celebrate today. This is now the wrap-up. I would like to thank again our musician duo Mo for this wonderful experience that we had with you again today. Thank you so much. For you, for the faculty, for you graduates, we will be marching out again the same way as we came in. Please be prepared for the group photo to happen first, downstairs, where we are throwing hats. and see your happy faces. So make sure that you don't grab a glass first and then go to the photo first. And then the guests, of course, are invited to come with us downstairs, grab a glass of champagne, and celebrate our graduates for today. Thank you so much for joining us here. It was a pleasure to have you, and thanks for your support.
Might seem crazy what I'm about to say. Sunshine, she's here, you can take a break. I'm a hot air balloon that could go to space. With the air like I don't care, baby, by the way. Because I'm clapping along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm clapping along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm clapping along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm clapping along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Here come that news, talking this and that. Yeah, give me all you got and don't hold back. I should probably warn you I'll be just fine. No offense to you, don't waste your time. Here's why. Because I'm clapping along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm clapping along if you know like happiness is the truth. Because I'm clapping along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm clapping along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Bring me down, that's what I bring me down. Your love is so hard, bring me down. And wanna bring me down. Bring me down, that's what I bring me